Yes, you read the title of this video correctly. Back in 2018, I got hooked on the idea of making big money on Amazon FBA. And yes, in 3 days, I made $11,000 in profit. Let's take a look at what happened and why I probably won't do it again. Hey everyone, thanks so much for clicking on this video and watching it through to the end. If you like this type of content, please let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to this channel. From as early as I could remember, I was obsessed with the idea of being an entrepreneur and making it on my own. I have started and failed with multiple business ideas, and if you continue to watch my videos, those will come to light. But in this video, I wanted to tell you an inspiring yet cautionary tale about my whole process going from just an idea to do Amazon FBA to selling out my product in 3 days. If you're looking to start selling on Amazon, I recommend watching this whole video. Let's go back to 2018 when I became super interested in selling on Amazon. It's most likely because I was spending too much time on Instagram and I fell into the pit of the massive amount of Amazon FBA gurus that seemed to be wanting to sell you a course. Stubbornly, I never bought one of these courses, but looking back, it was probably for the best. A lot of those gurus have never even sold anything themselves on Amazon. If you're not familiar with selling on Amazon, it isn't as simple as just creating an account and selling out your product in no time. It requires a lot of heavy research. For me, I started by just browsing Amazon and looking for products that I thought looked cool and would be easy to ship from China to the United States. I was quickly overwhelmed by how truly immense Amazon is. I then found out about Jungle Scout, which is a tool that estimates demand, profit, and sales of a potential product. Once I started using this tool alongside my original Amazon browsing, I started to put together a list of products that had a high demand and low competition. After about a month of research, I was able to get a list together of about 20 products. But there was a problem. The vast majority of items on my list were low-cost products. I'm talking about a profit of $2 to $5 per sale. For me, that wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for something that would be priced over $100 on Amazon, leaving me with a bigger profit margin. Of course, bigger profit margins means bigger risk, bigger expense, and bigger challenges. But I was ready for that, and I knew that I could thin out some of the competition with a product like that. The 3 products that I narrowed it down to were gas-powered generators, an anti-snoring machine, and weighted blankets. Ultimately, I decided to go with the weighted blankets. At the time, they were just emerging as a great solution for those who suffered with insomnia, restless leg syndrome, and other mental health issues. The next step was to get on Alibaba.com and find manufacturers who specialize in weighted blankets. At the time, there were a ton, so the way I vetted them was simply to contact them, see how quickly they responded, talk to them for a little bit via email, and then request a Skype video chat. Surprisingly, there weren't many manufacturers willing to do a video call, so the decision ended up being pretty easy. I chose a manufacturer and we agreed upon the price of $39 per blanket. You have to keep in mind, back when we were negotiating in 2018, these blankets were going for $140 on Amazon, so $39 was a good deal. Now you can get a very similar blanket for cheaper on Amazon than what I bought them for from the manufacturer back then. I placed the initial order of 200 blankets, wired them $7,860, and the manufacturing process got underway. In the meantime, I bought the domain name anxietyblankets.com, which I still own, and built out a website. This isn't really necessary for selling on Amazon, but I wanted to make sure that customers knew I was legitimate, and I had a lot of FAQs and images on there. The next step was to arrange shipping from China and distribution to the Amazon warehouses where my listing would go live upon arrival. The company that I hired actually went out of business. But if you search full service FBA shipping from China on Google, there are a ton of results from similar companies. What they do is arrange for your products to be picked up from the warehouse in China and brought to a container ship. They ensure all the paperwork is correct and then confirm that your product made it on the ship. While it is in transit across the Pacific, they keep you updated on where your product is. And when it arrives in the US, they send someone to pick it up and clear customs. After that, they bring it to their warehouse and await from direction from Amazon regarding which warehouses the product needs to be shipped to. Amazon then sends their trucks to pick it up, and that's that. Your product is now live when it gets to their warehouse. This all cost me about $6,000. Let me just tell you right now though, the whole process took about 4 months. From August when I placed the order to November when they hit the store. This isn't for the faint of heart or for those who don't want their money tied up for 4 months with little assurance that everything will work out swimmingly. So here we are. It's November 25th, 2018, and the anxiety blankets go live in the store. The first day I sold 26 and I was pumped about it. The next day it's 93. And the day after that, it was the remaining 81. I really could not believe that I had sold 200 anxiety blankets in 3 days, netting me $11,000 of profit in the process, which was $55 profit per blanket. I was shocked, elated, and eager to keep going, but there was a problem. I needed more blankets. And since the whole process from start to finish takes 4 months, I knew that momentum would be lost. The issue with a product that weighs 20 pounds per item is that air shipping is not an option. So a few days after I sold out, I immediately placed another order for 500 more blankets and started the whole process over again. I had visions of another quick sellout, but unfortunately it didn't work that way. By the time my next batch of blankets hit Amazon, the weighted blanket hype was over and the price was already down 30%. On those 500 blankets that I ordered, I ended up making less profit than I did with my initial 200. I believe it was something around $6,000 in profit. Now that's not something to balk at, But when you consider that for those 500 weighted blankets, I had invested something close to $30,000, which included the blankets and the full service shipping. It wasn't that great of a return. Imagine having $30,000 tied up for 4 months without much guarantee of success. Before we wrap this all up, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, and comment what type of video you want to see me make in the future. I have a lot to share with you about my journey from $30,000 in debt to where I am right now. And I plan on releasing 1 video per week, including net worth updates. There are a ton of things you're going to learn about building your net worth and investing if you stick around. As you can see, Amazon FBA is not for everyone. But at the end of the day, this is the main reason that I do not sell on Amazon anymore. I realized that I probably could have made this a 30-minute video, but I wanted to keep this whole thing under 10 minutes just to hit the main points. If there's something that you have a specific question about, please let me know in the comments and I'll try to respond there. Let's do a quick recap of my experience selling on Amazon. I gained an interest in selling on Amazon in 2018 and then used Jungle Scout to identify products with a high demand and low competition. From here, I decided to sell weighted blankets under my brand name Anxiety Blankets. I found and communicated with manufacturers in China listed on Alibaba.com and settled on the one that I felt had the best reputation based on the response rate, reviews, and willingness to get on video with me. I put in an initial order of 200 blankets and 4 months later, they hit Amazon stores, selling out in 3 days and netting me $11,000 in profit. I put in another order for 500 more blankets and 4 months after that, they hit stores. Prices and demand for weighted blankets at the time were lower, but I still was able to sell out, netting me $6,000 in profit. So all in all, I profited $17,000 from my efforts with Amazon FBA. It was a really interesting experience and it was great to be able to get some profit. But I have heard too many horror stories about fake product shipments, non-existent manufacturers, and terrible product quality. Now, what are you going to do with this information? Are you going to start your own Amazon FBA journey? Are you going to go down a different path? As you will find if you subscribe to this channel, I think your money would work more for you in other investments. I'm sure there is a lot of glory tied to Amazon FBA success, but there is also much more risk than other lucrative investments. That's it for now. Until next time, keep at it. Let's go back to church. But there was a problem. Of course, bigger profit margins means... In the meantime, I bought the domain name anxietyblankets. Amazon, on those 500 blankets that I ordered, I ended... Imagine having 30,000 and settled on the one that I felt had the better...